أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي ربنا زدنا علما يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلبي على دينك آمين. Today we'll do the second part of Surah Shura, and this part we'll do from verse number 91 till 53. ومن آياته خلق السماوات والأرض وما بث فيهما من دابة وهو على جمعهم إذا يشاء قدير. From Allah's sign are the creation of the heavens and the earth, as well as every creature that He has dispersed within the two. He has the power to gather them all whenever He pleases. وما أصابكم من مصيبة فبما كسبت أيديكم ويعفو عن كثير. The, the adversities that afflict you are a result of the deeds you earn, and Allah pardons a great deal. Verse number 31. وما أنتم بمعجزين في الأرض وما لكم من دون الله من ولي ولا نصير. You cannot escape on earth, and you have no protecting friend nor any helper besides Allah. ومن آياته الجوار في البحر كالأعلام. Among his signs are the ships at sea like mountains. إن يشاء يسكن الريح فيظللن رواكد على ظهره إن في ذلك لآيات لكل صبار شكور. If Allah wills, He could stop the wind, causing the ships to stand stationary on the surface of the sea. There are certainly signs in this for every person who is extremely patient and grateful. أو يُبِكْهُنَّ بِمَا كَسَبُوا وَيَعْفُو عَنْ كَثِيرٍ. Verse number 34. Or Allah could annihilate them because of the deeds they earn, and He pardons a great deal. وَيَعْلَمَ الَّذِينَ يُجَادِلُونَ فِي آيَاتِنَا مَا لَهُم مِّن مَّحِيصٍ. Those who dispute about His signs then learn that they shall have no escape. Describing His creative ability, Allah says, from Allah's signs are the creation of the heavens and the earth, as well as every creature that He has dispersed within the two. Since the creation are so many in number, one should never think that they are beyond Allah's control, because He has the power to gather them all whenever He pleases, as He will do on the day of Qiyamah. Allah declares the adversities that afflict you are a result of the deed you earn. However, Allah does not punish people for every evil they commit. Allah pardons a great deal of sins. If Allah were to take people to task for every sin, they would not have any rest, but would have to face an endless barrage of adversities. Hazrat Abu Musa Ashari Raziyallah Ta'ala Anhu reports that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, whenever a small or great adversity afflicts a person, it is on account of his sins. However, the sins that Allah pardons are much more than those that He finishes. Narrated by Tirmizi. Hazrat Abu Huraira Raziyallah Ta'ala Anhu narrates that the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, the moment man and woman repeatedly suffer hardships involving themselves, their wealth, and their families, until they reach Allah without any sin to their account, narrated by Tirmizi. This hadith make it clear that adversities causes sin to be forgiven. Therefore, a person suffering hardships will be cleaned of all sins when he reaches the hereafter. It is also a blessing that a person suffers punishment in this world rather than in the hereafter, because the single punishment of the hereafter is much more severe than every hardship of this world. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has also mentioned that Allah may want to elevate the rank of a person to a great degree, but the person's deeds are insufficient to qualify him for the rank. Allah then affects the person with difficulties that afflict his health, wealth, and family. Allah then grants him patience to endure the adversities until the person attains the rank that Allah has ordained for him. Narrated by Mishkat, page 137, from Ahmad and Abu Dawud. The adversities that afflict you are a result of the deeds you earn. This verse is addressed to the general Muslim public and not to the Anbiya alayhi salam. Therefore, one cannot say that the Anbiya alayhi salam suffer adversities on account of their sins because they were sinless. The Anbiya alayhi salam suffered adversities too so that their ranks could be elevated. You cannot escape on earth. People will remain in whatever condition Allah has placed them in. It will be futile to turn to others for assistance because you have no protecting friend nor any helper besides Allah. Among his signs are the ships at sea like mountains. These ships are large enough to carry thousands of tons in human and mercantile cargo. If Allah wills, He could stop the wind, causing the ships to stand stationary on the surface of the sea. There are certainly signs in this for every person who is extremely patient and grateful. The winds are at Allah's command and will not propel ships if Allah stops them. This verse denotes that the movement of the ships at sea is dependent on Allah. Therefore, even ships that are mechanically propelled require fuel to move. This fuel, petrol, diesel, coal, is also Allah's creation. If Allah stops the supply of these forms of fuel, these ships will also be stationary. In addition to this, it was because of Allah's inspiration that man was able to design and build the engine that propelled these ships. Therefore, man is totally dependent on Allah for everything. Just as Allah has the power to stop the winds, He is also capable of destroying people as they travel to these ships because of their sins. However, Allah does not sink every ship because of the sins of the occupants. Rather, He pardons a great deal of their sins. Allah does not punish people immediately, but defers their punishment until a later date or until the hereafter. Eventually, when the people of a ship are about to be shipwrecked or people suffering any other calamity, they then learn that they shall have no escape. Now I'll recite four verses from 36 till 39. فما أوتيتم من شيء فمتاع الحياة الدنيا وما عند الله خير وأبقى للذين آمنوا وعلى ربهم يتوكلون. Whatever you have been given is merely an article of this worldly life. What is with Allah is better and more lasting for those who believe in and trust their Rabb. والذين يجتنبون كبائر الإثم والفواحش وإذا ما غضبوا يغفرون, and who abstain from major sins, immorality, and who pardon when they are angry. Verse number 38. والذين استجابوا لربهم وأقاموا الصلاة وأمرهم شورى بينهم ومما رزقناهم ينفقون, and those who respond to the commands of their Rabb, who establish Salah, whose affairs are decided by mutual consultation between themselves, and who spend from what we have provided for them. وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَهُمُ الْبَغْيُ هُمْ يَنْتَصِرُونَ, and those who retaliate when oppression affects them. Describing the ephemeral nature of this world and the permanence of the hereafter, Allah says, whatever you have been given is merely an article of this worldly life. What is with Allah is better and more lasting for those who believe in and trust their Rabb. Allah then describes the attributes of the Mu'mineen when He says that they, number one, trust their Rabb, two, abstain from major sins, immorality, three, pardon when they are angry, four, respond to the commands of their Rabb, five, who establish Salah in the proper manner, six, whose affairs are decided by mutual consultation between themselves, who spend from what we have provided for them. 8. Who retaliate when oppression affects them, they retaliate only to the extent of the oppression perpetrated against them, not more. These are the silent qualities of a mu'min which he should display at all times and on all occasions. Whatever you have been given is merely an article, assert of this worldly life. This verse tells us that the commodities of this world are the benefit to one and all, be they mu'min and kuffar. This verse also denotes that the things of this world are limited to this world and will not proceed into the hereafter. Of course, if they are utilized to procure towards in the hereafter, the benefit will extend there as well. And those who retaliate when oppression affects them, this verse denotes that it will be permissible for an oppressed person to avenge the injustice done to him. Naturally, the retaliation should not exceed the damage done. Details about this will follow shortly. Now I'll recite from verse number 40 till 43. وَجَزَاءُ سَيِّئَةٍ سَيِّئَةٌ مِثْلُهَا فَمَنْ عَفَا وَأَصْلَحَ فَأَجْرُهُ عَلَى اللَّهِ إِنَّهُ لَا يُحِبُّ الظَّالِمِينَ. The retribution for an evil is a proportionate response. As for the one who pardons and makes amends, his reward will be with Allah. Verily, Allah does not like the oppressors. وَلَمَنِ انْتَصَرَ بَعْدَ ظُلْمِهِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَا عَلَيْهِمْ مِنْ سَبِيلٍ. There will be no blame on the one who takes revenge after he has wronged. إنما السبيل على الذين يظلمون الناس ويبغون في الأرض بغير الحق أولئك لهم عذاب أليم. There will be blame only on those who oppress people and unjustly rebel on earth. An excruciating punishment shall be the loss of these people. فَلَمَنْ صَبَرَ وَغَفَرَ إِنَّ ذَلِكَ لَمِنْ أَزْمِ الْأُمُورِ. Whoever exercises patience and pardons, this is certainly among the most resolute matters. The previous verse read, and those who retaliate when oppressor affects them, since this verse does not provide details about the limits of retaliation. Allah adds the detail to the above verses. Allah says, the retribution for an evil is a proportionate response. A wrong person may retaliate only to the extent of the wrong done to one. In the retaliation exceeds the extent of the wrong, the person retaliating will then be guilty of injustice. As for the one who pardons and makes amends, his reward will be with Allah. Although it is permissible to take revenge, it will be best to pardon the aggressor. This pardon will not be in vain because Allah will amply reward a person for this. If a person chooses not to pardon, he himself should not oppress in turn because verily Allah does not like the oppressors. There will be no blame on the one who takes revenge after he has been wronged. Then, within limits, a person takes revenge for a wrong done to him. He cannot be condemned because he merely exercised his right. It is aggressor or the aggressor's family wish to retaliate. They will be guilty of oppression. Concerning them, Allah says, there will be blame only on those who oppress people and unjustly rebel on earth, and exergating excruciating punishment shall be the lot of these people. Thereafter, Allah proclaimed, whoever exercises patience and pardons, this is certainly among the most resolute matter. While everybody does not have the capacity to do this, it should be borne in mind that the reward is extremely great. Hazrat Abu Huraira radiallahu ta'ala anhu reports from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam that Hazrat Musa alayhi salam once asked Allah, who is most honorable in his sight. Allah replied, the person who pardoned despite possessing the ability to retaliate. Narrated by Mishkat, page 434. Now I'll recite from verse number 44 till 46. وَمَن يُضْلِلِ اللَّهُ فَمَا لَهُ مِن وَلِيٍّ مِّن بَعْدِهِ وَتَرَى الظَّالِمِينَ لَمَّا رَأَوُا الْعَذَابَ يَقُولُونَ هَلْ إِلَىٰ مَرَدٍ مِّن سَبِيلٍ. After Allah, there can be no protecting friend for the one whom Allah sends astray. When they witness the punishment, you will see the oppressors crying, is there any road to escape? وتراهم يؤرزون عليها خاشعين من الذل ينظرون من طرف خفي وقال الذين آمنوا إن الخاسرين الذين خسروا أنفسهم وأهلهم يوم القيامة ألا إن الظالمين في عذاب مقيم. You will see them presented to the fire with their heads lowered in disgrace. Looking on their secretive glances, the believers will announce the true losers are those who will lose themselves as well as their families on the day of Qiyamah. Behold, the oppressors shall suffer an eternal punishment. وما كان لهم من أولياء ينصرونهم من دون الله ومن يضلل الله وما له من سبيل. There shall be no friends for them to assist them against Allah. There is no road for the one whom Allah sends astray. Allah says, after Allah, there can be no protecting friend for the one whom Allah send astray. That is, none can guide or help the one whom Allah deprives of guidance. Allah then describes the punishment such people will suffer. He says, when they witness the punishment, you will notice the oppressors crying, is there any road to escape? They will search for a way to return to the world, claiming that they will be righteous the second time around. However, all their pleas will be ignored. Describing their plight further, Allah says, you will see them presented to the fire with their heads lowered in disgrace. Looking on with secretive glances, the believers will announce, the true losers are those who will lose themselves as well as their families on the day of Qiyamah. They will be unable to help themselves on the day of Qiyamah, and even their family will desert them there. The punishment they will suffer will not be for a short period. Behold, the oppressors shall suffer an eternal punishment. Allah adds, there shall be no friends for them to assist them against Allah. The kuffar cannot expect any person to reverse Allah's decree. There is no road for the one whom Allah sends astray. Allah says in Surah Kahf, you shall never find any allies besides Allah for those who He sent astray. Verse number 97, and the number of the surah in the Quran is 18. Now I will recite from verse number 47 till 50. استجيبوا لربكم من قبل أن يأتي يوم لا مرد له من الله ما لكم من ملجأ يومئذ وما لكم من نكير. Respond to the commands of your Rabb before there comes to you a day from Allah which cannot be averted. On that day you will have no scanty nor any protester. فإن أرزوا فما أرسلناك عليهم حفيظا إن عليك إلا البلاغ وإنا إذا أذقنا الإنسان منا رحمة فرح بها وإن تصبهم سيئة بما قدمت أيديهم فإن الإنسان كفور. So if they turn away, then we have not sent you a guardian over them. Propagation is your only responsibility. Indeed, when we allow man to taste of our mercy, he becomes exuberant. However, when an adversity afflicts him because of what his hands have forwarded, man becomes ungrateful. Lillahi mulku samawati wal arz. Yakhluqu ma yasha. Yahbu liman yasha. Inasam wa yahabu liman yasha uzzakur. To Allah belongs the kingdom of the heavens and the earth. He creates whatever He wills. He confers females of whoever He wills, confers males to whoever He wills. أو يزوجوهم ذكرا وإناثا ويجعل ما يشاء أكيما إنه أليم قدير. Or he pairs them as male and female. Allah also makes whoever He will barren. Indeed, He is the all knowing, all powerful. Allah exhorts man to respond to the command of your Rabb before there comes to you a day from Allah which cannot be averted. On that day you will have no scanty or and nor any protester. On the day of Qiyamah there will be none to protect about the plight of another. Allah then addresses Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying, so if they turn away, then do not grieve because we have not sent you a guardian over them. Propagation is your only responsibility. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not charged to make people accept and will therefore not be questioned about the fact that the kuffar did not believe. Indeed, when we allow the man to taste of our mercy, he becomes exuberant. However, when an adversity afflicts him because of what his hands have forwarded, that is, his sins, man becomes ungrateful. That is, he began to talk as if he never experienced any fortune before the adversity. Allah declares, to Allah belongs the kingdom of the heavens and the earth. He creates whatever He wills. He confers females to whoever He wills, confers males to whoever He wills, or He pairs them as male and female. Allah also makes whoever He will barren. Allah grants only male offsprings to some couples, whereas He grants all female children to others. There are also those couples to whom Allah grant male and female offsprings, while others have no children at all. The reproductive act alone does not ensure children. The decision rests with Allah, who is the all knowing, the powerful. Everything happens according to His perfect wisdom, and none can alter His decrees. Now I'll recite three verses from 51 till 53. وَمَا كان لبشر أن يكلمه الله إلا وحيا أو من وراء حجاب أو يرسل رسولا فيوحي بإذنه ما يشاء إنه علي حكيم. It is appropriate for a human that Allah speaks to him only for means of inspiration or from behind a veil, or that he sends a messenger who conveys the revelation by Allah's command and he as he pleases. Verily Allah is exalted, the wise. وكذلك أوحينا إليك روحا من أمرنا ما كنت تدري ما الكتاب ولا الإيمان ولكن جعلناه نورا نهدي به من نشاء من عبادنا وإنك لتهدي إلى صراط مستقيم. In this manner did we reveal the Quran to you by our command. You did not know what was the book or what was Iman, but we made it a light with which we guide those boardsmen of ours whom He will. Without doubt, you guide towards the straight path. صراط الله الذي له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض ألا إلى الله تسير الأمور. The path of Allah, to whom belongs whatever is in the heaven and in the earth. Behold, all matters return to Allah only. Malumat-e-Tanzil, Volume 4, page 132 reports that the Jews once asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you are really a Nabi, then why is it that you do not converse with Allah or see Him like Hazrat Musa alayhi salam did? It was in response to this that Allah revealed the above verse, stating that it is only possible for a human being to converse with Allah in one of three methods. These methods are: first, by means of inspiration, that is, by instilling something within a person's heart or showing him something in a dream. Second, from behind a veil, like Allah spoke to Hazrat Musa alayhi salam on a Mount Tur. Third, that He sends a messenger, Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam, who conveys the revelation by Allah's command as He pleases. These three methods are necessary because really Allah exalted the wise. No human has the capability to converse with Allah directly. Allah converses with people in one of the above methods, as He deems appropriate in His perfect wisdom. Important note has been written here. One, the inspiration that Allah instills within the hearts of the Anbiya alayhi salam, and the dreams that they see or clear commands from Allah which have to be practiced. On the other hand, the inspiration, ilham, and dreams of other people are regarded as dahani, that is, they cannot be used as a proof to substantiate any act that is contrary to the Sharia. Note 2, the veil mentioned in the verse refer to a veil of celestial light. A hadith of Muslim states, Allah's veil is celestial light nur. If it is removed, the radiance of His countenance would burn all of His creation as far as He can see. Narrated by Mishkat, page 21. Hazrat Musa alayhi salam spoke to Allah from behind the veil because as a human he was unable to withstand talking to Allah while looking at Him directly. It is only in Jannah that Allah will grant man the ability to look at Him directly. Allah states further, in this manner did we reveal the Quran to you by our command. While the Arabic word ruh has been translated above as the Quran, other commentators are of the opinion that it refers to Nabihood or revelation. Further addressing Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah says, "You did not know what was the book or what was Iman." That is, before becoming an Nabi, you were unaware of Allah's book and of the detained articles of faith. It was only after Allah made Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam a Nabi that the Quran was revealed and he began to receive revelation pertaining to the details of faith. Of course, by then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was already aware of the basic tenets of Iman. But we made it, the Quran, a light with which we guide those boardsmen of ours whom we will. Without doubt, you guide towards the straight path. Allah then describes that path, straight path, Siratul Mustaqim, as the path of Allah, to whom belongs whatever is in the heavens and in the earth. Allah will be pleased with the person who treads this path of His. Allah concludes the surah by reminding man, behold, all matters return to Allah only. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.